Let's get ready together. Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of my Get Ready With Me While I Overshare series. You all said you enjoyed the first part, and like I said in that video, I have different deep thoughts every single week of a bunch of different topics that are on my mind that I would love to share with you guys, so I'm back at it again for part 2. I feel like recently the biggest thing that's been on my mind has been around networking, which honestly I am not a pro at, and I am the reason I am in that predicament, and so that is the biggest problem in my life right now that I'm trying to fix. For those of you who don't know, I grew up really shy and really quiet, like unable to even make friends sort of thing. And so the biggest transformation I've made for myself throughout university, throughout my career so far, and throughout going to creator events and things like that has been just learning how to speak to people, get myself out of my shell, and kind of develop that extroverted energy, which I know I have done beautifully. Like, I have mastered that skill. However, I've realized that networking is like a whole other game, which I have held myself back from because it makes me feel uncomfortable. I've always known that networking is so important. It's why there's that popular quote that says your network is your net worth. And I've heard so many stories about successful people and how they got to where they are because of their network and because they spoke to the right people that kind of handed them a lot of opportunities. A few days ago, I actually had dinner with one of my creative friends, and she said that she went a long while not even focusing on her content that was going out or trying to post consistently. But one thing she did do was consistently go to networking events, consistently make friends with people in the industry, and that's what gave her so many of the opportunities, brand deals, and events that she can go to today because of that. She was not working tirelessly and not having a work-life balance, and hearing that really inspired me. It made me realize there's so much success that could be waiting for me that I am in a way self-sabotaging and holding myself back from just because it's not easy to me and just because I don't naturally have that skill set. Like, that's ridiculous, and I can't be doing that to myself. No one ever in the history of the world has become successful by just staying stuck in their ways because they're like, oh, I can't do that, or I don't want to do that. The whole part of the game is to adapt and grow the skills that you know are going to get you to the place that you want to be. And so right now I'm in a place of holding myself accountable, knowing that this is my goal and taking steps towards it. When did I realize this was my goal? I'd say maybe 6-7 days ago. And guys, do you want to know what my week is like right now? Today I have a filming day. Tonight I have a dinner with a new influencer friend that I've been meaning to meet. I already got it booked in the calendar, planned it with her 6 days ago. Tomorrow night I accepted an invitation, which I most definitely did not need to. It's not a requirement for work. It's not something I would typically say yes to, but it's basically a networking dinner with a bunch of founders and entrepreneurs. Once again, somewhere I don't necessarily fit into being a creator, but I was like, F it. I literally bought a ticket to this event. I'm going tomorrow night. It's going to be like a close-knit dinner table conversation with all of these successful people, and I'm excited. I'm excited because I was like, I realized what was lacking in my life last week, and now I already have things lined up that is going to get me to overcome that obstacle. And then Thursday night I have an influencer event which I was actually invited to, but obviously I'm going particularly for the networking portion of it. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday I'm traveling with my boyfriend anyway, which means every single day this week that I actually have available, I have built out that will get me outside of my comfort zone and help me accomplish my current goal. And I'm feeling very happy with myself about that. Speaking of adapting and success, I wanted to speak about something not so fun and not so great that's happened to me over the last week. I would say over the last 10 days or so, this problem in my life has really amplified and has caused me so much stress, and I finally solved it yesterday. And this problem was that a person on my team that I had hired quite a while ago, it just wasn't working anymore. The work that they were doing for me was not to a good standard at all. And I was really stressed out and disappointed because my number one goal for 2024 was to hire a team. And I now have a team of several people. And now one of those people who has such a large and integral role in my work is not fulfilling their job, and it's really stressing me out, and it's making the work arrangement really difficult. And then realizing I had to let somebody go, I guess, stressed me out and felt like I failed in a way. 2, I didn't even know, like, how am I supposed to fire somebody? I've never done that before. That was like a whole other problem in itself because I'm not a confrontational person in the slightest. I also just felt frustrated because I was like, this should work, and like I've put up with this for so long and I can't believe it's had to come to this. At the same time, I felt really, really angry because I felt like this person isn't taking their job seriously. Are they taking me for granted? Are they just trying to get away with stuff? Like I was getting really, really angry. And then of course I had all of the worry of now having to replace that person in my team that took me so long to find in the first place and make sure I do it right this time, so then I don't have the stress of having to go through this cycle again. And so even though I've solved and sorted this whole problem, I wanted to share it because of the lesson that it taught me, which is in this last week of stressing about it every single day, worrying about what I was gonna do, whether I could fix it, whether I was supposed to let them go, how I was gonna handle the whole situation, my biggest emotion during that was a little bit of self-pity. I felt sorry for myself, and my biggest thought was, this is so unfair. You know, why did this have to happen? You know, maybe I should have just hired somebody else in the first place to not have this headache now. Or maybe I should have done this earlier and I've wasted my own time. Or I was angry at the other person for wasting my time. And after a while I realized this was never about me making a mistake. This was never about this person on my team making a mistake or taking me for granted or being the bad guy, none of that. This entire situation had to happen. It was never unfair. It was never something for me to pity myself about or feel like the victim. This entire situation was inevitable, 100% had to happen, and now that it's over, I'm actually grateful because that entire stressful situation was just preparing me for the life that I've prayed for. That's all it was. And I can't complain at life, at the universe, for giving me challenges that are giving me the wisdom and turning me into the kind of person that will be able to handle the life that I am going after. This problem I'm probably gonna have to deal with so many more times throughout my career over the next few decades of my life, and I just dealt with it. I just conquered it, and now I know how to do it 100 times over if I need to. And how amazing is that? Like, what a gift is that? And so I just really had to check myself there and just not fall into a little pity party, because that just was never the case. I would not be able to start new projects or grow my business if I couldn't have dealt with that situation yesterday, and I would never be able to know how to deal with it if it was never given to me in the first place. And I wanted to share that because in having that realization, I remembered so many of the times where I thought that things were going wrong or I was lost, when really it was just me being given the process, the stress, the situations, the challenges that were going to get me to be the kind of person that could get the life that I'm living today. Oh, and also I really hope you guys are enjoying this video and this series. I really just want to put out the content that you guys really like, and I'm personally really liking this content because it's a little bit easier for me to keep up with. Vlogging my everyday recently and like doing a productive week in my life every single week is just not feasible to my routine whatsoever. And that's another thing that I've just really tried to get on board with recently. I'm starting a new project right now. It's actually almost done. You guys are probably going to see it in a few weeks, and I hired an assistant to kind of help me with it. And she was actually like, basically this project or this thing that I'm launching will go out a certain number of times in a month, let's say. And I chose a number, and she was like, that's a lot, like that's a lot, and I really don't think that that's good for you, but we can do it if you want. And I had to take a step back, and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I signing myself up for so many things that is literally going to take me away from the freedom of being able to live my life, because I'm gonna have so much on my plate and so many work tasks to do that I won't be able to live anymore. It has come to my attention that there are people in the same industry as me traveling for months on end, or just generally like being able to take their weekends off or have a work-life balance. And I'm like, what about me? What is the difference here? While I was thinking about this, at the same time over the last week, manifestation has really come into my mind, because I realized while there are so many manifestation practices that I feel I have conquered. So like, for example, my vision board over there for this year, 50% of it come true. A lot of it came true so easily without me even having to think about it, right? Great. I visualize all the time. I have no problem in visualizing my higher self, the life I'm going to live. If somebody were to ask me, do you think you're going to get this or that? 100% yes. I know I deserve it. I know it's coming to me. I can so easily see myself having of it. However, manifestation is a muscle that you definitely have to consistently train. It is not something you learn about once and then you kind of just let it go. Because while there are some manifestation things that have stuck with me and that I can use in my daily life and they're just like a part of me, there are so many other ways in which I need to hold myself accountable in manifesting my dream life, so I don't fall into common manifestation pitfalls, such as feeling like I need to work more to earn and be able to actually get the dreams I want. That really goes against manifestation. Manifestation is simply aligning yourself with the feeling of already having the thing to the point where you are completely free to rest. Why would you ever overwork yourself? You are not chasing this thing. You are not desperate for it. You know that you deserve your downtime. You are not adding extra things to your plate in order to make yourself more worthy for your dream life and for your accomplishments. You are whole and worthy and deserving as you are with the balanced work that you are doing. I think something like that comes a little bit harder for me because I really love working and I really love challenging myself when it comes to new projects I'm doing, or like, for example, putting the podcast on video or making sure that I upload every single day on TikTok and Instagram. Like, that is a lot in conjunction with everything else I do, and then writing a book and then doing all these different book events. But I love it. Like, that does give me happiness, but it does get to a point where it's like, is the sacrifice completely worth it with not being able to rest when I want to rest? And so aside from my usual work tasks, I have started making it a priority to refresh my manifestation knowledge. And because of that, I think I might make another manifestation video on my main channel once I feel like I'm back in a good manifestation place. Because while having all of these realizations, it took me back to a time where I was trying to get to where I am today, like 1 million subscribers and my own apartment and all of that. And I remembered manifestation was such a key part of my life at that point. It was very, very intentional, and I actually really did focus on the process of manifestation. This is something that I'm still in the process of, so I can't say too much about it yet, but I definitely will talk about it once I've kind of made progress on this journey. But one thing I will say is already I can feel a shift in the last few days of, like yesterday, if I don't want to work or if I don't have the energy for it, it's fine. I'm not giving up success in taking something off my plate. I'm not, taking away what I'm worthy of or what I'll get in the future by saying no to somebody. Affirming that, but then also living in accordance to it has been so powerful to me and such a game changer. And yes, it's helping me with my manifestation, but it's also helping my energy and my vibration just stay high as consistently as possible. But you know what? It's not all bad. I do have some positive manifestation stories that have happened recently that I want to share with you guys. So, as many of you know, I moved to London around 2 months ago, and while I do have literally just a couple of friends here already that live on the other side of London to me, one thing that's really been coming up for me is I really want to build new friendships. I'm in such a beautiful big city with so many other creatives, so many networking opportunities, so many ways to meet so many different people. And so my focus lately has really been on making new friends. And I feel like when I moved out into my first apartment alone in Birmingham, I made some amazing friends, love them to pieces. Obviously I can't see them as much now because we live hours away from each other, but the biggest mistake I made was making those two friends, feeling really comfortable with them, and then not really looking to meet anybody outside of that, which I think really impacted my growth. And I don't want to make that mistake in a city where there's no excuse to make that mistake. And so I'm not going to let myself fall into the trap that just because I already have friends in the city, I'm just going to stick with them. I really owe it to my younger self especially to go out and see what's out there, because you have no idea who's out there waiting for you. You don't know who's out there that's just going to love you and relate to you so much and give you the conversation that you've always craved. And I just can't wait to find that out. And I'll tell you what's really crazy. My boyfriend and I were having a conversation and I was like, I feel like my life is really full right now and I'm really happy. I love my apartment, I love my relationship, I love my job, I love the opportunities I get invited to in the city. But I think the one thing that's missing is the friendship aspect and meeting new people. And if I had that, I would truly say that my life is perfect. And so my boyfriend was like, okay, so how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna work towards that? And I looked at him and I thought, well, I don't really have a lot of time to work towards that. Yeah, I definitely will. But right now, I'm just gonna put the intention out there and I'll see what happens and I'll allow things to find me, because a lot of the time they do. And so I'm putting my trust in the universe, but definitely in a few weeks, I'll come back, hold myself accountable and maybe go out, organize things with people to actually actively meet different people. I had that conversation with my boyfriend 2 weeks ago about my desire to make new friends. And then 3 days ago, I met 2 new people. We went out for drinks. It was probably gonna last an hour and a half or so. Didn't go into it with much expectation. We ended up spending 7 hours together, me and these 2 people. 7 hours. The conversation just flowed so easily. It was like there was no awkwardness, no shyness. We were getting to know each other in so many different aspects. We were having deep conversation, funny conversation. We were laughing our heads off, and we had just met. Hours and hours and hours were flying by. I didn't even realize where the time had gone. And all of a sudden we had gotten drinks, and then we went to go get food, and then we were speaking to strangers, and we were just being goofs in the middle of the night in the city of London. And then I got home really, really late, and now we're already making plans to see each other again. And I look back at what just happened 3 days ago, and I'm like, that's it? All I had to do was ask, and that experience was just literally given to me by accident. My inner child feels so happy right now, because as somebody who grew up chronically lonely and couldn't really find her people, I used to find so much comfort in this quote that I used to read, and I probably still have it saved on my phone to this day. And the quote goes like, you have no idea how many people are waiting to find somebody exactly like you. You have no idea how much love and laughs you're going to have with these people that are waiting for you in your future. And basically, just because you don't have anybody now doesn't mean that that's going to continue for the rest of your life. You have all of these friends, all of these connections that you are going to savor and hold for the rest of your life. You have best friends you are yet to meet. But since this entire series is about oversharing, shall I tell you guys something so crazy about this experience? Where me and these two people went out for drinks, I have only ever been to one time in my life before, which was many, many years ago with a London friend that I actually used to have. It was probably one of my first friends I ever made in London, and me and this person was really, really close. And then our friendship kind of fizzled out like 2 years ago, and to this day I don't know why. We went our separate ways, and it was something that took me a really, really long time to get over, because I really held this person in such a high regard. It was really difficult for me to heal from this friendship that I valued so much, where they kind of just ghosted me without an explanation after all of the memories and all of the things that we experienced together. It was such a hit to my heart, to my ego, to everything. And living in London and being in this environment again, it's been many years, and I've gotten myself through it, and I've been my own therapist, and I've talked myself through it. But weirdly, these two people that I met asked to meet at this place that I used to go to with this old friend. And I thought that's such a weird coincidence. We get sat at the exact same table that I sat at with that old friend. And I was like, this is so weird. Because every single time I used to walk past this bar, this drinks place, I used to think of the time that I had with that old friend that I missed for such a long time. And I was like, wow, okay, we're sat on the same table, that's so weird. And then I ended up spending 7 hours with them. And now I've walked past that drinks place since. And now all I think about is the new memory I've put there. Of making these new friends, of spending 7 hours with them, of all the great conversations we've had. And that old painful memory that I used to associate with this bar is gone. It's so faded out of my memory, I barely remember it, and I'm never going to associate it with that again. And once again, that's just something where I look up to the universe and I'm like, thank you. Like, that was such a coincidence, and it didn't even need to happen. We could have had drinks or dinner literally anywhere. We chose that place and sat on the exact table, and as a result, I was able to rewrite the narrative of a once bad or hurtful experience that existed in my mind to one that is now so abundant and so full of joy that what once used to hurt will never again. Like, how magical is that? And I just think it's true for everybody, that it might not be that specific for you in the exact same environment, but if you've had lost friends or you've had some friendship trauma, there will be people that come into your life that make you forget all about it. Also, I don't know if you can see that, but my skin has been breaking out so bad again, and for the last few weeks it's been so clear, so good, not a single breakout, and all of a sudden it's all back again. And I was like, why? I haven't changed anything. Do you know what I changed? I was just a little bit more frugal, if that's the word, with what I was eating, because I've just been so excited with trying out new restaurants, and I'm like, it's summer and I'm just gonna enjoy what I'm eating. And every single time I do that, my skin is like, here you go. Here you go. And back when I was green juicing every single morning, and I was a little bit stricter with what I ate, and I definitely had like barely any sugar or barely any like fun snacks, my skin was absolutely perfect. So this is the problem that I experience all the effing time. But honestly, it's fine, because all of the fun food experiences I had have created some great memories, and I don't regret a single one. So if my skin wants to act up, it can. It's temporary, it will go, and I'll get back on my little healthy routine, and it will be fine again. Trying out this new mascara today because I love all of Say's other products. Oh, recently I've actually been using this mixed in with my foundation. It's the Say Super Glow. I am obsessed. So yeah, no eyeliner today. This is a little bit different for me, but I'm feeling it. I want to start trying different things because sometimes I just get really bored of my appearance, and so changing up the makeup look is the easiest way to mix things up and add some excitement back into my day. And that is me ready. I thought I'd give you guys one last update before I wrap up the video, which I slightly mentioned in the beginning of the video, which is I'm going to be traveling for like 4 days this weekend. I'm going on holiday with my boyfriend. We're going to Venice. I am so excited. By the time you're watching this, oh my god, you're going to be watching this on Sunday. We'll be in Venice, and Sunday is the day of our 2-year anniversary, which is why we're going on holiday together. I'm so excited. And I honestly can't believe we are 2 years deep, like from officially being boyfriend and girlfriend. We've known each other for around 3 years. It's insane. And we were talking about it yesterday, and I was like, I can't believe I'm here. Like, I never thought I would make it to 2 years in a relationship with anybody. I've never been that close to being in a relationship with anyone for that long. I was like a 3-month relationship warrior. Literally, me and my friends used to laugh about it all the time. I would always get in and out of relationships and they'd never go past 3 months, bar like one. Like, I'd only been in one long-term relationship, which was like 1 year. And I really thought that it's just not in the cards for me to be a long-term relationship girl, and it would never work. So this is crazy, and I'm so happy and I'm so proud of myself. And it's really made me reflect on what it's taken to get here. By no means in these 2 years of being in a relationship together has it been hard work and consisted of loads of ups and downs. I don't want to normalize that whatsoever. I used to hear about that all the time, and I thought it was something normal that came in relationships, and that has not been the case for me, nor do I think it should be the case for anybody. I think relationships should be so easy, and yes, definitely you're gonna have times where you're annoyed at each other or you have to work through stuff, but I would 100% honestly say these last 2 years have been such a breeze, and it has added so much value to my life. But what I will say is, while the relationship itself hasn't been hard work, it was hard work to be able to be the person that could be in this relationship and also contribute to it in a healthy way to get it to where it is now. Getting ready to be in this relationship was hard. Like, I had to work on my attachment style. We met at a point in my life where first I was on my self-love year, so I didn't pursue it whatsoever. Afterwards, I fell into a trap where I was very hyper independent. I didn't see the value in relationships, and for that reason I couldn't meet my boyfriend where he was at, even though he was so ready to get into a relationship with me. And I saw his value, and I knew that he was the right person for me, and so I had to read up so much on attachment styles. I had to fix my perception of love. I had to fall out of my familiarity with chaos and toxicity and ups and downs to just safety and stability and just happiness and consistency, which when you're so familiar with chaos feels wrong and almost boring. And challenging those beliefs and creating a new normal of myself was truly such a big factor in being in this part of my life now. Another really big thing that's contributed to this happiness in our relationship is showing up and making sure that we don't get complacent. I think it's so easy as well to fall into that trap when you live together. But like yesterday, I randomly just baked cookies for my boyfriend because I wanted to show up for him in that way. And we write little letters to each other when the other person's not home or has to leave early, or my boyfriend will cook and clean whenever he knows that I'm stressed, or he'll literally help me set up all of my tripods and all of my lighting when I'm about to have a filming day because he knows I'm already overwhelmed. And it's little things like that, like being romantic, helping each other through it, that make sure that we're so grateful and so happy and eager to be in this relationship every single day. And I'm so excited to celebrate 2 years with him this weekend. If you guys didn't know, we went to Paris for our 1 year anniversary this time last year, and I vlogged the entire like 3 or 4 days, was it? So you guys can watch that. I will not be vlogging the Venice trip this year because I just really want to be present. And I think every single time I've traveled, Amsterdam, Cyprus, New York, that Paris trip, I've vlogged every single time I've traveled for the last year. And I really just want to stay present and enjoy this one, which I think falls in accordance with a lot of the things I've said in this deep chat video. So I'm really excited to do that and just be present and enjoy myself, and then be back to work on the Tuesday next week. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, please comment down below, let me know what you thought. If you want a part 3, let me know, just so I know what content I should be putting out for you guys. Next week, I think there's gonna be a productive day in the life vlog. So yeah, stay tuned, subscribe, press the notifications button so you don't miss an upload. I hope you guys have an amazing week, And make sure to check out all the links in my description because my book is coming out so soon, like literally a few days from when you're watching this. And pre-orders really help with the ranking and the success of the book. So I would love if you guys could do that. I also have book signing events, which you'll see on my Instagram highlights. So yeah, that's all from me. Have the best week. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching all the way up until the end.